Good evening, folks, and welcome to another edition of An Hour with Bob. This year's going by fast already. This is the 30th of March already. We're into spring, the best time of the year. No, actually, fall's the best time of the year, but spring's second. I don't like summer much, and I don't like winter. I like winter even less. But today, we got a guest here, an author, and she wrote an interesting book. So I ran into her. She was at a friend's, what do we call that, bereavement? Memorial for his wife. And I ran into this young lady, and we started talking, and I said, at some point I'm going to invite you on the show. And Sharyn, what happened? How did you end up on this show today?
I got a call yesterday.
Yesterday? Oh
Blew
my God.
mind.
Really? You're saying, who's this crazy guy, huh?
I was happy to hear from you.
Yeah?
Yes.
So you wrote a book. Is that your first book?
It is, yeah.
And we were talking off camera because I started writing a book with a ghostwriter out of California. And I didn't like the way it was going. So I X'd
Yeah, I'm sure that can be tricky.
Yeah, because I had so much stuff to put in a book. I really do. I mean, I have a real lively life, I would say. You know, my father died when I was 7 years old. I was in the hospital when I was 6 years old, and I was in a wheelchair for 2 years, and got burnt in the fire, all kinds of crazy stuff. And you know, that in itself, those kind of things, I wouldn't be at my 11th year, and I would have enough to fill a book, I think.
Right. Wow.
But you got to. How do you decide what you want to put in the book? Well, your book is first of all, it's a fiction, right?
It's fiction, yes, yeah. So it really came about one day when I was having a conversation with my daughter, and I said, wouldn't this idea be really cool to read in a book or to see in a movie? I think it would be pretty thrilling. And
to
she
see what?
said, well, I can't really say because it would just give way too much away.
Right.
It's I don't think anybody's ever done it before. So, but it's pretty creepy.
Yep.
And it's pretty thrilling. So she said, you should go for it.
Yeah.
So I did.
Now, what is it with women? They like creepy, they like danger, they like scary stuff. What is it?
I don't know.
But it's true, right?
I don't know if all women like.
No,
I know a
not
lot
all
that
women,
don't.
not all, but there's an awful lot of them that do.
Oh yeah, and
And they do
early
this
on,
stuff, I've been with women in a movie theater, and they go like this.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't look, but then they're like this.
Yeah. From early on, I always liked the things that go bump in the night and the
like
the
Halloween,
more,
stuff
oh,
like that?
loved it.
Really?
You know, when I was really small, I loved like Quincy, MD.
Oh, yeah.
Dark Shadows.
Oh.
You know, I was really big into the Nancy Drew mystery
Right.
books.
Well, that's different.
and-
That's different. That's not like the scary, crazy, scary.
But oh no, you know, as a teenager, Halloween and Friday the 13th.
Right. All those movies
Freddy.
I take apart because I go, why would you do that? Why would you
I
like
know.
they're taking them apart in the commercial right now.
I
You
know.
see the commercials on
Right,
TV?
right.
Oh no, let's go in the car. Let's go in here. You know?
Yeah. And you know, there is a formula for all those kind of nonsensical.
Right.
I just call them slasher kind of
Slasher
flicks.
movies.
Yeah. You know,
What's the
where
scariest one?
The scariest
Ever.
like for me.
Yeah.
Hands down, it's still The Exorcist.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't know. I can still watch that today, and or even The Omen. I think anything that focuses on children, maybe,
Right.
is really like.
What about that little the little baby doll there?
Oh, Chucky.
Chucky.
No.
There was a movie.
That's not
I don't watch scary movies as a rule, but when I was in my teens, I went to the Strand Theater in Pawtucket back in the day when it was there. And I went to see a movie called Black Sunday.
Okay.
And it's got to be still out there somewhere. But that was the scariest movie I ever saw. That was the scariest movie. And after that, I didn't like going to see scary movies. I don't want to be petrified.
Sunday.
I don't want to leave a movie and have nightmares.
I just love the adrenaline.
Really?
Yeah.
So your book is called Love Me.
Yes.
Was that directed to you?
No. There's running through the book, there's the theme of love with many different characters.
And the main characters being Paige and James?
Paige and James, yes. And how each of them and other characters within the book relate to love differently, associate with love differently, give love differently. So, you know, for some people, love can turn pretty dark. And that's basically what happens.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Yeah? Well, you said many of the characters have guilt over
Yes.
what?
Something happens
When
within
they
the
were
book.
kids or whatever?
Well, the book takes place when the two main characters are very young, and then it jumps ahead while they're in high school.
Right.
So something does happen.
Where'd they go to high school?
Cumberland High. An event takes place, and you know, the main characters feel guilty about it. The parents feel guilty about it. Other people that are introduced to what happened.
So you're going for the different like empathy versus
right. And you know, even with a psychological thriller, you delve into the hows and whys of somebody that can actually commit murder. And sometimes you can feel empathy for them.
Really?
And it's not often easy to do, but I think it comes through in Love Me. You really do.
Are any of the characters real people?
No, absolutely not. The characters are 100% fiction. And I think that, you know, a lot of writers like to say that their characters are not based on anyone in real life, but I think that is almost impossible to do.
Right.
I think, you know, when you meet people, you take a little bit of them, and, you know, you might not intend to write a character based on someone, but I think little pieces of them come through in when people write. And a few of these characters, you know, are based on people that I know and people in my family and things like that.
No, have they picked up on it?
Oh yeah.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Are they mad at you?
No.
Because if I wrote a book, I'd get a lot of people mad at me, I think.
Yeah. There's even a doctor, an eye doctor in the book where one of the characters goes. And I didn't name him his actual name.
Right.
But it was off just enough where people would say to me, "Was that this guy?"
Right.
If, you know, in Cumberland.
Right.
I said, yeah, it
Now,
was.
did that doctor?
Yeah, he knows.
He came
knows.
across the. Did he ask
loved
you?
it. He
really?
loved it. Yeah, he wanted me to use his real name.
Now, how did you decide on, or why did you decide on Cumberland?
I knew because of the main idea that I revolved the whole book around. I knew it had to take place in October, and I wanted.
Why October? It's the worst month of the year for me, by the way, October.
Oh, sorry. It's one of my favorites. I
Really?
love Halloween. I love everything that goes along with it. But I wanted it to take place in the fall, somewhere beautiful where the color changes happen, and you know that
and monsters
people
can come up from the
exactly
from
yes.
the leaves, hiding in the leaves. Really?
You bet. So I thought, well, what better place than Rhode Island, and why not Cumberland?
Sure.
It takes place in Cumberland, Lincoln, Smithfield,
Right.
you know,
Northern
Rhode Island.
Yep.
So I know a lot of Rhode Island authors focus on the South area,
Yes.
you know, the
Or
beaches
the islands,
and
a
the
couple of
islands.
the
Yeah.
islands, yeah.
So I said, I'm going to do something a little different. But I knew instantly that it would take place in October. And then, you know, it's why not here? I know everything about it.
Right,
Don't
right.
have to do much research.
Did you always want to be an author? Did you always wanted to write a book?
Not really. I did write a children's book when I was in college, and I was told that it should be published, but I never pursued it.
Right.
And you know, when I'm an avid reader, and when I would read, I would think, you know, I just wasted a whole week or two reading this, and this is how you ended the book. Oh my gosh, you know, and so I was kind of always had something in the back of my mind that maybe I'll give it a shot and see if I can do something a little different. And it, you know, after the conversation with my daughter, I decided to put my money where my mouth was. So.
How long did it take you to write the book?
About 2 years.
Really?
It wasn't anything I started off writing faithfully daily or, you know, even every other day. I would just come up with some characters and storylines and jot them down. And then when the pandemic hit, I said, you know what, I just either need to forget about doing this or really give it my
Right,
all.
right, yeah.
And that's when I finished it. So,
Well, that makes sense to me.
yeah, I had plenty of time.
Because what I did, I wanted to pick out, you know, different outlines, you know, things that happened in my life and just jot them down. But I have so many of them, it's
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah.
So that's why I hired a ghostwriter, and it didn't work out because
Yeah.
I saw the first 2 chapters and they were terrible.
Yeah, if they don't capture your essence right away.
Yeah, it was awful.
Then, yeah,
Fortunately, I got all my money back too.
good.
It's a lot of money. It was
Yeah.
$4,500, but I
Yeah.
got it all back.
Good.
So this book, we can't say where, but you can get it anywhere around, right?
You can get it at all the usual places.
Yeah.
And in some stores in Rhode Island.
Yep.
Libraries. I will have a new updated website coming
Yep,
out at
you
the
can
end
say
of
that,
April.
yeah. You can say that.
It's not ready yet.
Oh, it's not ready.
Still being worked on. And then, you know, if you look for Sharyn Haddad Vicente, author.
Well, and tell them your spelling of your
Yes,
Sharyn,
yes,
because that
it's-
threw me off.
Yes, it's SHARYN
Yep.
HADDAD VICENTE.
And that's the other one, the Vicente instead of Vincente.
Yeah, there's no N. Everyone wants to put an extra N in that. Yeah,
Exactly. I did when I saw it.
Yeah.
I thought I messed it up. I thought I forgot the end.
But they'll, you know, my new website will have all the links to where you
Okay.
can purchase.
And you'll have that soon, all right?
It should be up and ready by the end of April.
All right, and I'll mention it on upcoming shows when
Okay.
you do finally put it together.
I'll let you know.
Yeah. Well, I'm looking forward to reading the book. I haven't read it yet, unfortunately. I've been damn busy, but I
Yeah.
will. I plan
Good.
I plan on reading it.
Excellent.
Even though it is a scary, I might get too scared.
Oh, well, my mother read it, so if she can read it, you can.
Well, I don't know about that. I'm a wuss. I might get too afraid. All right, well, thank you for stopping by, and
Thank you for having me.
yeah, we'll be right back on An Hour with Bob. Well, we're back on An Hour with Bob, and look who I got here now. A friend of mine, I haven't seen her in years. She was on this show, we're going to find out right now, when Jessica Botelho was on An Hour with Bob. How long ago?
Oh, it was at least a decade. I was at the Warwick Beacon at the Times, and I've been at Channel 10 for 7 years now.
Wow.
And then I worked at the Rhode Island Catholic before that.
The
for
Rhode Island Catholic?
the official newspaper for the Diocese of Providence.
Really?
Yep. And then before that, I worked at the Beacon. And I don't know if you remember Limelight Magazine, too, which was an
Yes.
entertainment publication
Right.
that came out quarterly.
Right.
And we were, booking shows and interviewing the musicians that were performing. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Wow.
Now here I am.
Yeah, I remember when you were a rookie with the
Yeah.
Warwick Beacon.
Yeah.
Were you there when we went over to Hungary during Christmas?
I feel like I remember that because was it to deliver toys?
Yeah.
Yes, I remember
Yeah.
you talking
And
about
there was
that.
there was a girl there was a reporter, a blonde girl
I don't remember a blonde.
for the Warwick Beacon.
Okay.
She came with
Oh, Colby.
Colby, is that her name?
Does she have short blonde hair?
Yeah.
Yeah, like a little bob?
Yeah.
A little bob.
A
Big
little
bob.
Bob. I'm not sure that was her name, though. It might have been somebody else. This girl, I think she had a child.
I'm not sure.
No?
I didn't work with her very long, to be frank.
Because we went, it was supposed to be, I was told later, it was supposed to be a show about the National Guard over there in Hungary. And it ended up being, it was 5 pages in the Warwick Beacon. It was pretty cool.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it was 5 pages, all kinds of pictures and everything.
Yeah, John Howell, he's a publisher and the editor. He does a really great job with that newspaper, and he also does the Cranston Herald, the
Yes.
Johnston Sunrise, Primetime
Real good guy,
Magazine.
real
He is a
good
good
guy.
guy. He was at the event the other night.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
I ended up rooming with him because when we were on our way over, we lost an engine in the C-130.
You did. We talked about this the last time around the show because I remember you talking about this now.
Yeah.
It's all coming back to me.
Really?
Yep.
Yeah, we got sidetracked, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
And I was the only one awake. Everybody was asleep, and I don't sleep, especially on a plane. And the guy comes walking down, I see 130, the captain is up in the front, and you can't even see him. and you know, the pilot, the co-pilot, the navigators, they're all out of your way, and they come down 3 stairs, and then they walk in the back where the people are and where the trucks are, if there's trucks, and jeeps, if there's jeeps. And we're all sitting in seats. They put a couple rows of seats in. There was 19 of us on the, Jack Reed was on the on the plane. So wasn't the lieutenant governor at the time, Fogarty was in it, and they were all sleeping. And this guy come walking down, navigator come walking down the center aisle. He walked right by me, and he walked over, only have little port windows. He's looking out the port window, so I got to find out what he's looking at, right? So I go and look over his shoulder, and I see one of the propellers isn't moving.
Yikes.
And I must have went, or something like that, because he turned right around. And when he's got the headset on, when he turned around, he goes, "Bob knows," like that. and I can't even hear the captain or the pilot go, "Bring him up here." Didn't want anybody else to know about it. Didn't want, you know, they would have all been freaking out. Yeah, so I spent the rest of the flight, because we had to divert to the Azores. We spent the day and a half in the Azores, and John was my roommate in the Azores.
Good old John.
Yeah, and he was my roommate over in, we were in a former Soviet barracks in Tazar, Hungary. We were there 7 or 8 days there. It was pretty cool.
Nice. And all to deliver toys to people in need?
Yeah,
That's beautiful. How long have you been doing Toys for Tots?
Well,
because that's honestly the first time I met you. I think it wasn't through An Hour with Bob.
Right.
It was at the mall,
Yep.
and you were, had this big group of people, and you were collecting toys for Tots.
Well, I started that in 93, I think, or 94, the Toys for Tots. Because we went over, that event that we went over to, that was like 96, I think, when we went over to Tazar, Hungary.
Okay, that was in 1996. That was way before my time at the Beacon. Yeah, oh yeah. So I have no idea who that was.
It was the late 90s. I'm pretty sure it was the late 90s. Yeah, it must have been. I said the middle 90s, probably the late 90s, 96 maybe, something like that, 96. Probably.
We're in the ballpark.
Yeah, we're in the ballpark. So you started when over there?
What year was it? 2010, I think?
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe my dates are wrong. If you remember it, maybe you remember it better than I do.
I was there for 3 years. Yep.
Yep.
And
I remember you there.
You do?
Of course I do.
Okay.
You were a cutie little thing, yeah. Where'd you grow up in?
I grew up in Warwick.
Oh, is it Warwick?
And I still live in Warwick. I've never lived anywhere other than Warwick. Yep.
I figured
Little
being
Miss
Portuguese,
Warwick.
you were living in Bristol or something.
Nope. I'm mostly French.
Really?
I just look Portuguese.
Well, you got a Portuguese name.
Yes, I got a Portuguese name, and I'm a little Irish too.
Really?
Yep.
But mostly Portuguese.
No, mostly French.
Mostly French.
Yeah.
Canadian French, right? Canuck French.
Yes.
Yeah, because anybody that's French in Rhode Island, they come from Canada. They don't come from Paris. Very, very seldom do you see a real Frenchman. Well, I'm sorry, not a real. They're real Frenchmen up there too, but they're.
I get what you're saying.
They're different French. So you bought a house, what, a couple of years ago, you said?
Yeah, almost 2 years ago now.
Yeah?
I'm close enough to Mom and Dad that I can just shoot over there.
And eat?
And eat, or cook. The other night I went over there after work and I made them sloppy joes, quick, simple dinner.
Really? Yeah?
So easy, just.
What do you make do you put chili powder in your sloppy joe?
Yeah, I got the mix. I was a lazy girl, lazy lady meal.
That's easy.
Well, I like to do, if I really feel like cooking, I'll do a frutti di mare, however you choose to pronounce it.
And that is what?
That is, it's a seafood dish over pasta. So mussels, clams, shrimp, scallops, calamari, or squid rather. You saute all that up with some garlic and olive oil, and then you just put it over the pasta. It's amazing. That's my favorite thing to cook. And I like tacos too. You cannot go wrong with a taco. Who doesn't like tacos? Really? Something's wrong with you?
No, I don't like beans.
Well, I'm not talking about beans.
Well,
that's in a burrito.
Oh, it's a burrito, yeah. And I should know a lot about Mexican food. I've been to Mexico a dozen times at least.
Really? A dozen times?
Oh, yeah, easy.
I think I've been out of this country once. It was in Jamaica.
Yeah, not a great place to go either.
Well, it was. We were at a beautiful resort.
Oh, yeah,
but
if you're in a private
you drive
resort.
through all that poverty
Yes.
to get to a resort, which is just kind of,
Or if you don't stay in a resort, you got a problem.
yeah.
Pretty dangerous. Jamaica's a pretty dangerous place. I didn't care for it. I've been there a couple of times. You know, a lot of the James Bond movies were shot. Part of them were shot there.
Really?
Oh, some beautiful, beautiful sights in Jamaica.
I've never even seen a full James Bond movie.
Really?
Nope.
I want to see the most recent one. I haven't gone to see it because.
Who's the most recent James Bond?
Oh, same guy, Craig.
Okay.
He's
The blonde guy? Red-headed blonde, kind of?
Maybe. Yeah.
Sorry.
He's done the last 4 or 5, I think.
Okay. I remember Pierce Brosnan. That's and
Yeah, well,
Sean
he was
Connery.
nothing.
Sean Connery
Sean
is
Connery's
the
James
original.
Bond.
Yeah.
He's the best James Bond. Well, who was the best James Bond? Did you see the movie he was in at the prison there in San Francisco? There?
No.
No? What is it? What's the name of the prison? Huh? I know, that's the name of the movie, right? The Rock? Huh?
Alcatraz, the prison. The movie was The Rock.
Yeah, what was the name of the prison?
Alcatraz.
Alcatraz. And I've been there twice. I couldn't think of the name of the place.
You've been everywhere. Where haven't you been?
Antarctica.
I don't think I'd want to go there.
No, I have no intention of going there. No desire to go. I almost went to Greenland, though.
What's the best place you've ever been to?
That's a tough call, because I've been to a lot of places I really like.
Give me a top 3.
Thailand.
Ooh.
There's a lot of good places in this country. A lot of real nice places to visit, to go to in this country. We were talking about earlier, my favorite drive that I've ever driven, just driving, is the drive from Miami to Key West. That is the most beautiful drive.
Yeah?
Especially as the sun's going down. The sun looks gargantuan when you're driving south, because you're driving actually southwest. That's why they call it Key West. Because the Keys, the Florida Keys, are about 200 islands, and many of them are connected by bridges or causeways. In fact, there's one bridge 7 miles long, aptly named the 7-Mile Bridge. And they just built a brand new section of one, because it's actually 2 bridges, and one of them got hit a few years ago by a barge, and they knocked it down. So they had to build so they're using one side of the bridge for both lanes. It's Route 1. The first, they never can keep the #1 marker down there, because it's marker #1 on Route 1, because Route 1 goes from Key West all the way to Maine, all the way to, Caribou, Maine, right? And #1 marker is in Key West. And they always steal it. Every time they put a new one up, they get stolen.
Well, you were talking about sunset, and that made me kind of think about my favorite time to be on a beach.
Is sunset.
Is during the sunset. It's just gorgeous. People start kind of clearing out.
Yep.
I got a book, and you can still, there's enough light that you can read, or you have a little snack on the beach.
Every single night, 7 days a week, 365 days a year in Key West, you can go right on Mallory Square, and you go right along the ocean, and you can watch the sunset. And they have sailboats out there, and you can take pictures with the sailboats going by, with their mast up, and power boats, and then there's a couple little islands out there. You can take pictures of the sun going down over the island. It's absolutely gorgeous out there.
Cool.
In fact, a friend of mine lives in Marathon, which is a little better than halfway down. It's one of the islands, one of the many islands, but it's one of the bigger islands, too.
We have some beautiful beaches here in Rhode Island.
We do.
Narragansett Town Beach. I love it there.
It is.
The seawall's gorgeous.
You ever been to Blue Shutters State Beach?
No.
Nobody knows where Blue Shutters State Beach. If you get a map.
Doesn't sound real. It sounds like something that would have been in, a book that the
East
author
Beach
wrote.
Road off of Route 1. If you look at it, nobody's got maps today anyway, but if you found yourself a Rhode Island map, which you can get at the Chamber of Commerce, well, you look at the map, open the map, and one section is for beaches, and beach number 8. And I'm not even a beach person, but that is the most beautiful beach, I think, in Rhode Island. It's remember Moonstone Beach?
No.
You don't remember Moonstone?
No.
Moonstone Beach was a nude beach.
Oh, God. Well, that's why I don't remember it. I've never been there.
Well, it's before your time anyway. But just south of that is, Ninigret. You ever been to Ninigret?
Yeah, Ninigret State Park.
Yes.
Yep.
If you drive down to Ninigret, just before you make the turn to go to the state park on the right.
That's where the seafood festival is held,
Right,
right? Yeah,
yeah.
that's a good time. That's always a fun time.
Yes, yes.
I've interviewed some bands that played there.
Yeah.
That's back in my early days. That's really how I first started getting into reporting. Is I was interviewing, like I said, musicians and bands
Right.
locally, and then there were like some national acts that I talked to. I think one of my favorite all-time interviews. I like Cyndi Lauper's up there, and Gary
Was she
Sharyn.
scratching a lot?
It was over the phone. And then
I
Gary
shouldn't have said that, actually.
Gary Sharyn, who was he was in
Gary Sharyn.
he was in Extreme. He was the lead singer of Extreme. He was the third lead singer of Van Halen after David Lee Roth and Sammy Hagar.
Right.
And actually, I saw him with I've never seen Sammy Hagar with Van Halen. I've seen David Lee Roth and I've seen Gary Sharyn.
Right.
And Gary Sharyn killed it.
Yeah.
He actually, he hurt himself the first show, and we had to leave. And we were like, what happened? And they stopped the show. And my brother and I were there, and then we ended up going I think it was the next day or the next week or something. But we were kind of disappointed at first, and then we were like, wow, this guy was worth the wait. And then I interviewed him when he was with a band with, I think it was his brother, on guitar called Hurt Smile. So he's a really nice, humble guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you ever done any bands or seen any bands down at Mesquamaket?
I can't think of anybody that I've
Westerly,
seen at Mesquamaket.
I interviewed the lead female singer for Jefferson Starship.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Not the original. Was it Joan Jett? Was that the original? Was that the original singer? Oh, Gracie Slick. I'm sorry. Yeah. It was the woman that replaced her. Because he got some good acts down there in Mesquamaket. He used to do a show like this. In fact, he may have started it over again. Caswell Cook's his name.
Yes. Okay. Then I am going to eat my words. I've interviewed Caswell Cook.
Yeah. Well,
Yep.
he puts
What
together
is he
the
does
bands
that
down
annual
there.
thing that he does
Yeah.
with the burning of the Gatsby?
Right.
What's that called?
No, not the burning of the Gatsby.
The burn.
That's
I
in
mean, the
Warwick.
burning of the. I cannot think of it.
They built a big giant bonfire. and
Yeah,
they
the
burned-
bonfire.
Yeah.
Yeah, Fawkes.
The burning what?
The
fort?
Guy Fawkes. They kind of like replay.
Oh yeah.
That's yeah.
And then there's the
I'm saying, it is
Narragansett.
the burning of the Gatsby, isn't it?
No, that's in Warwick.
All right,
that's
I'm
near
confusing
you. You
things
live in
then.
Warwick.
Turn the
That's-
cameras off now.
And by the way, the burning of the Gatsby, a lot of people don't realize this, and it really not really bothers me, but it bothers me a little bit that they claim, people all around the world claim the Revolutionary War was as a result of a whole bunch of people in Boston going on a ship and throwing
The tea.
the tea overboard. Wrong. 8 months earlier, a bunch of guys in Warwick, Rhode Island, first they were on a couple of skiffs, and here comes the English boat to collect money for taxes. And they harassed them, and the boat, went after them. They knew that their boats only drew a little bit of water, whereas that boat, the clipper ship, drew a lot of water. And they got them into the sandbar in, where is it? Patuxent Village.
Oh, yeah, okay.
They got them over there, and they beached the boat, and all the guys got off the boat, and they came into land. Well, all those local guys, they got together in a bar room in Warwick, right there, right there at where the Gatsby was burnt, and they put it together, and they went over to the boat. There was only one guy watching the boat, because everybody went off the boat, and they didn't kill him, but they tied him up or something, and they took him off the boat and they burnt the boat. That was the burning of the Gatsby. That's what caused. Because what do you think would piss off England more, the burning of one of their ships, or throwing some tea in the water?
Yeah, they did some damage with that.
Right? What do you think would make them madder? England madder, right? Throwing some tea in the water. But the thing is, they played it up bigger than we had. We should have played it up a lot bigger. Decades ago, we should have played
Missed
it up bigger.
opportunity.
Yeah, exactly. And also, because I'm going to let you talk. You're supposed to be talking anyway. But do you know that the U.S. Navy started right there in East Greenwich?
That's awesome. I didn't know that.
If you go to East Greenwich Town Hall and you look at the building and you walk up the stairs, and you don't go in the building, you go to the right of the last staircase, there's a big plaque on the wall there. That's where the Navy was begun, right there. Two ships, two captains got together, and they merged, and they decided to make a Navy to fight the British.
Very cool.
So, now about you, Jessica. You got 3 dogs.
3 of them, yes.
What kind of dogs? I know you got one husky or something, right?
He's an American Eskimo, and that's Noah.
Oh, he's an Eskimo. What's the difference between an Eskimo and a husky?
Our American Eskimo is completely white.
Oh.
And he is the most affectionate,
Yeah.
loving, lovable, like, sweetheart of a dog.
Yeah?
He's the apple of my eye. I know you're not supposed to have a favorite, but he's my favorite. I
Yeah?
do. I love him. And then I have 2 Papillons,
What are those?
Raphael and Simon. Their Papillon is butterfly in French.
So it's a little
and
dog.
They're little dogs, and they get their name after their big ears because they look like butterfly wings. Raphael is very athletic. You throw a ball as far as you can, and he's going to run and jump in the air and catch it no matter what. Simon, I call him my chunky skunky. He's black and white, and he's a little bit of a couch potato. But he likes to play catch, and he's a little bit of a ball hog.
Really?
They all have these really great
Do you take them all out at the
personalities.
same time?
No, we have they actually live with my parents, and I moved out 2 years ago, like I said. But we don't walk our dogs. We open the backyard doors, and they're running around like crazy.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, that's the way I'd have another dog. I lost my dog a couple of years ago.
That's not
That's
easy.
awful.
It's
That's,
never
oh my
easy. It's
God.
like losing a family member,
That
a
is
relative.
terrible. I had
Some
my
people
dog for
don't get it.
13 years.
That's a long time.
Oh, what a heartbreaker that was.
Yeah, Noah's almost 12.
Really?
And Raphael's a little younger than him, and Simon's, I think, 11. So they're all getting up there.
Ouch.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Slow down.
I never
time.
would believe that could affect me as much as that did.
I believe it.
That was terrible. That was terrible. Hey, so get on a good subject. What do you do over there at Channel 10?
So I'm the digital field reporter, which means I'm doing everything mostly out in the field.
Right.
I'm meeting people, I'm talking to people, and everything's online, digital. So I write for turnto10.com.
Right.
And I do everything, from human interest stories have always been my favorite
Right.
kinds of stories. So
Yeah.
I really try to focus on that and like positive news. So that's really kind of, my forte, my main interest. But, I can pick up anything that's thrown at me. I really don't like certain topics like politics. I just don't really like getting into, but
You don't like politics?
no. That's why we're going to not talk about
We're
it.
not going to talk about
Nope.
politics. Wait a minute.
Uh-oh.
How about this? You know what that is, right?
I do.
How can you not like them? All right, I won't talk about them then. So you were on the Rhode Island version of Dancing with the Stars?
So
What's
yes,
that all about?
this was just held Friday night. It was called the 15th annual
Wait a minute,
Dancing.
it was just held?
It was Friday night,
This past Friday
just
night?
a few days ago, not even a week ago.
Wow.
Yes. It's called Dancing with the Stars of Mentoring. And it's a nonprofit. Mentor Rhode Island teams up with, Mentor Rhode Island's a nonprofit organization that pairs adult mentors.
So you mentor? You're a mentor?
I'm not a mentor.
You're not a
I
mentor.
dance in the competition.
Oh.
So they pair adult mentors with children across the state
Right.
to encourage them, support them, offer them any kind of guidance. Because, it's easy to have a parent or, an aunt or an uncle tell you what to do, but when it's somebody outside of your family,
Well, yeah.
or maybe you don't have that kind of
Right,
support
right.
at home. Not every child does.
Yep.
So this was a really good opportunity to not only raise money for the organization, but raise awareness. So Mentor Rhode
Yes,
Island,
yes.
the event was held at Rhodes on the Patuxent on Friday in Cranston, and there were 8 competitors.
Right down the street from,
From Channel 10,
no,
from Patuxent Village.
Patuxent Village.
So where was I saying?
Right up the street.
Right up the street. So there were 8 competitors,
Yeah.
and we were teamed up with professional dancers from the Dance and Feeling, which is a studio in Warwick.
Oh.
And for the last 10 weeks, each of us went and rehearsed for at least an hour. And
Now, did you pick your own dance, or did they give you the dance?
they asked me that my instructor was Noah Karsten, and he was honestly so sweet, so knowledgeable, was flexible with me, and when I could meet, I couldn't meet until after I got out of work, and he knew I was kind of nervous, all these people are going to be looking at me dance. People were like, you're on TV, it shouldn't be a problem. I'm like, I'm not on TV. I work for a TV station, but I'm a web reporter. I do Facebook Lives all the time, but that's a little different. Plus, you're staring into a camera or a cell phone, so it's like there's... But there were more than 400 people in attendance.
Wow.
And together as a group, we raised $102,000 for Mentor Rhode Island. Actually, we had online campaigns, so I just kept posting the link, sharing the link. And then, I don't know if I'm plugging too many businesses over here, but Deb Wood from We Be Jammin', she actually owns Wood Boat and Motor. And she does the boat show, the Rhode Island Boat Show every year. I think she and her husband,
They must be in Bristol or something.
They're right in Warwick.
Oh, it's in Warwick.
Another Warwick. Can't get away from Warwick.
Wow.
I was doing a story about how she was hosting a fundraiser to raise money for an agency, and I was telling her about my event, and she said, "I'll do one for you too." And I felt like, no, that's not necessary. But then I was like, this would be awesome.
Sure.
So she sells jam, jellies. It's called We Be Jammin'.
Jammin'.
Jelly, relishes, salsa, salad dressings. So we were together we met at the Warwick Mall.
Yep.
And we sold more than $800 worth of per products, and she rounded it up to 1,000.
Yep.
For me and for Mentor Rhode Island. So that was really. Not only, that for me was kind of a touching, humbling moment that this woman and her friends, because she had her son there with her, she had a couple of friends, and they did all of this. It was just so selfless. So it helped build me the confidence, give me confidence that I needed, to get up on the dance floor. And so did Noah and the people from Dancing Feelin'. The confidence was kind of like, a key element to it all, because it's not easy to get up and dance in front of. I'm not a dancer.
You're not
I
a
maybe
dancer.
dance to Britney Spears while I'm brushing my teeth or whatever, getting ready for work.
Me too.
But I mean,
Me too.
nothing. I took jazz for 1 year when I was 8. But other than that, I've never done any kind of dancing. So to be teamed up with a professional dancer, we actually danced to a song from Dirty Dancing. That was an obscure song from the movie. Not The Time of My Life.
No?
Not that song. Nope. And it's called Johnny's Mambo. And it's so we did the mambo, and it's the scene
Now,
where.
did you know how to do the mambo before you did the mambo?
I did not.
No.
So it's a scene where it's Patrick Swayze with Cynthia Rhodes, I believe is her name. She's the blonde in the movie that plays Penny. I don't know if you remember that, but it's the scene where it's early on in the movie.
Was that the older woman, Penny? Was that the older girl?
She wasn't older. She was like the same age.
Oh, she was.
I actually, in that movie, that dance always stood out to me, because it was Johnny and Penny at the hotel at Kellerman's. And, Baby is dancing with
nobody puts
Neil.
Baby in the corner.
Nobody puts Baby in a corner.
That's what stands out to me.
Baby's dancing with Neil. He's kind of like that geeky, younger guy that's in the movies trying to woo her, and she's looking at Patrick Swayze to this guy kind of thing. Yeah. But that's what kind of she kind of catches on to the culture of the dancers at the hotel, and she kind of gets involved after that. And Penny has some issues where she can't dance, and they need a fill-in, and Johnny leads Baby, and then they duplicate sort of scenes, dance moves from that scene. And that's exactly what Noah and I did. I got there, I said, I really like this song.
He didn't pick you up and
No. So I was like, I really like this song. And he's like, yeah, we can definitely incorporate some of the moves, because some of them, I mean, she leaps up into the air and he holds her up.
So you had to watch the movie to see how they did the dancing?
No, we watched the scene. So we took a couple of the dance steps from that scene and incorporated it into our routine for the Dancing with the Stars event.
Oh, that's cool. Mm-hmm. So you must have been a big hit.
It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. Everybody was coming up to me afterwards and being like, "You were so great." And all I could think to myself was, "I'm so glad I didn't trip and fall," you know?
So how emotional were you after?
I was actually really emotional, and one of the judges was like, "You know, you were so great," and I couldn't tell who the professional or the volunteer was at that moment.
How cool is that?
Yeah, and I think she was just being nice. But I locked eyes with my brother, and I couldn't help, like, I choked up a little bit. Even now, just thinking about it makes me a little emotional.
Really?
But just to see your family, to see your friends out in the crowd. John Howell was there snapping pictures, and we formed this unique bond, myself, the instructor that I worked with, Noah, and then the other dancers and their professional partners.
Right.
You know, leading up to the event, we met a couple of different times, and we talked about what was expected of us. And then, you know, during the day of the event, we all met at the venue and rehearsed for a couple of hours. And then, you know, some of us like branched off and hung out for a little while before the event. And to just you know, everybody had the same emotions. Like, this is a little nerve-wracking, but we're doing this for charity, you know? It's not about me. It's not about me. It's not about them. It's about raising money for the kids. And to look out into a crowd and to just know, like, 3.5 months of all this hard work, and this is
culminates in that event.
Yeah,
right?
it all, you know, came to a kind of knowing that what we did was awesome and knowing that it was also over was bittersweet, because I'm like, oh, I'm not gonna get to see Noah every single week. But I'm thinking about taking lessons from him, so maybe I'll get to hang out with him every once in a while. He's a great guy. I love him.
Yeah.
And everybody at the Dance and Feeling was really great.
So what other hobbies do you have, does Jessica have besides dancing?
We talked about, I do like to cook. And I don't think I have any like specialties. Like fruity tamara is a favorite thing to make. I don't think I really have like a really go-to meal. But like if you present me with like, hey, I'm really in the mood for this.
Right.
I'm gonna be like, well, how do you like it? And I'm gonna make it for you, and you're gonna like it better than your grandma made you. Sorry, grandma.
Wow. Well, my grandma couldn't cook, so that's okay.
Then see, it makes it easier for me.
Yeah, it's a simple task. So what do you like to cook the most? Italian food, French food, Greek food, Mexican food?
I like to do Mexican food, and I like to do different pasta dishes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. The only thing I don't like is I don't like having to do like a turkey or a roast. I don't like.
Did you ever do a turkey?
I've done a turkey. It's even more nerve-wracking than getting up and dancing in front of 400 people.
Tell me something. Did you when you did a turkey, did you take the giblets out before you cooked the turkey?
Yes.
You did?
Yes.
'Cause my wife.
I think you're supposed to leave them in for more flavor, aren't you?
No. The bag, the bags that are inside the.
Oh, come on, Bob.
She left it in. She cooked it. It was the last time I let her cook a turkey.
Oh.
I did the turkeys after that.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Oh, she was smart. She got away with not having to cook after that.
Yeah, the bigger, like, it's expensive too. So when you buy like a bigger piece of meat, it's a little like, uh-oh, am I gonna mess this up?
Right. You can't. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Well, you can't. You can always add. You can cook it a little more. You can't
undercook it. Yeah. Once it's overcooked, you're done.
Yes.
It's like the movie Christmas Vacation. The turkey is just. When she sticks the knife in it and it just blows up?
Yeah. So what do? You work 5 days a week, or is it weekdays, weekends?
Yeah, 5 days a week, yep.
At daytime or nighttime?
Yeah, this is the first, I work 10 to 6. This is the first job I've ever had that's, dayside, because I worked in retail before getting into journalism. Throughout like a year in high school, and then throughout college, I did retail, and then I freelanced anytime I could for any newspaper that I could.
Right.
So this is my first, 9 to 5 job. The thing is, though, people aren't always available during those hours. They're like, I'm not home until 7. I'm not home until 8. So, you kind of have to just work with people's schedules, and that's all right. Sometimes it's.
Well, that's a weird time anyway. 10 to 6. That's a
10 a.m. to 6 p.m.
Yeah, that's a weird shift.
You think it's weird?
Yeah, because you're losing.
A couple hours. Yeah, I always kind of get up early and I make my phone calls or shoot off emails around 8:30, 9 o'clock to try to get ahead of the game.
Yeah. But what I mean is 6 o'clock you're getting out of work instead of 5 o'clock or 4:30 or whatever.
It's all right.
It is?
Yeah.
Yeah. in the wintertime, it's always dark when you get up. Even now that they're going to change it to daylight savings time, you still got to get out of work and it's got to be almost dark or dark.
It's light out now
Well, it
at
is.
6 o'clock.
Yeah, it is.
Which is
but
awesome because I can go for a nice little walk after I get out of work.
Not in January. It's not going to be.
Not
In
in
December,
January,
it's not going
though.
to be. It's not going to be light out. I had a couple questions. What do I have here? Oh. How familiar are you with this thing right here?
I'm familiar with what it is.
What is it? What is it?
It's the Ukraine flag.
I want to go over there.
Yeah, why don't you?
I do. I want to go over there. I really do. You know who's over there right now? John DePietro.
Yeah, is he still there? I thought he came back.
I know he's coming back, I think this week. I don't know if he's back yet, but he was over there. He was over there. I heard him on the radio a couple days ago. But that was a smart move on his part to do that. I mean, even though he's up in Woonsocket, or he actually isn't. He tapes it from his house, and they run it through in Woonsocket. But he's now on the FM station too.
Oh yeah.
99.1.
I cannot be. I'll be honest. I don't follow John much.
Yeah. I listen to them all a little bit, just get a taste of all the different radio personalities. But my boys, Gene Valicenti, he was just on.
Gene's great.
He was just here last month. He was here.
Cool. Gene and I used to share a cubicle.
Really?
Yeah, and I used to bring in snacks every once in a while, and he said, something, I like savory, not sweet. So I'd bring hummus and chips.
Really?
And his big thing, what does he like? Slim Jims. So next time he comes on, you can have a whole thing of Slim Jims.
Yeah. Have the big Slim Jims, right? The big ones? Yeah. Him and who else? Oh, you know who hasn't been on in a while over here is Mark Searles hasn't been on in a while.
I like Mark. Mark is actually one of Mark Searles, Frank Carpano, Patrice Wood, and Dan Jadig were the first anchors that I really got to know because I worked 3:45 to midnight.
Right.
And they do the 10 and the 11 now. I think Frank Carpano anchors the 10, and Patrice and Dan and Mark and Frank all do the 11.
Right.
And
Gene only does the 6.
Yeah, Gene, sometimes, he used to do the noon occasionally. He'll fill in. But yeah,
he's got a hell of a gig.
He does.
He does the morning radio, and he does one spot on Channel 10. But he's
I wouldn't want his schedule. Talking about schedules.
Why?
He's got to get up at the crack of dawn for the radio show, and then he's got to be at Channel 10 in the evening. He must be tired. I'm like, how many?
Well, it's a 6:30.
Yeah.
And he's done.
Yeah.
He doesn't even do the noon, right, anymore? Does he do the noon?
Not anymore. I know Coletta did the noon for years, and now Barbara anchors the noon for the most part.
Right,
And then there's Mario, too.
Do you know
Mario and
of that group
Allison.
you're talking about, the only person of that group that hasn't been on my show?
Who?
Patrice.
Patrice?
Yep.
You know something? She is my favorite, and
Really?
she knows that. And we're talking about Mentor Rhode Island, and who's my mentor? I would say John Howell has always been a mentor,
Right.
but Patrice Wood is just a class act. She is just so kind, and there's something about her that's just comforting. She's like having my mother in the studio
Really?
with me.
Yeah.
Sometimes just looking at her calms me down if I'm like if I'm worked up about something or if something doesn't work out. Patrice is always just even keel and she's great. She really
she's been
is.
there.
She's been there as long as I've been alive. I'm
Yeah.
almost 40 and Patrice has
No,
been
she's
on
been
the
there
air.
longer than that.
I think it's 40 years on the
40
nose.
or 41, yeah.
And it's interesting because as a little kid growing up, I'll never forget like being home from school sick and like waiting for my mother to come home from work and just watching the news and Patrice's voice was comforting,
Really?
And then there I am in the station with her. It's kind of surreal. I'm still pinching myself that I work at Channel 10. I don't take it for granted at all.
How about Allison Bologna?
Allison's really nice. I don't get to see her too much because she's the morning shift.
Right.
And sometimes like I'm out and about, and then I've actually worked remotely throughout the pandemic, and then I've been back in the station. So I did see her the other day and yesterday, but that was a rare treat. So I don't get to see her too often.
And Dan Janik, as you said, he's one of my favorite
And he's
guys. I
a
like him.
riot,
He's a
he
real
too,
nice
he's
guy.
fun.
He's got a big family.
He
He's got a
does,
family
he's
like
one
I
of
do.
8. I
Yeah,
think
me
he's the
too, same
youngest
thing.
of 8.
Yeah, yeah. I was shocked to hear that he was the youngest of 8. And they're all giants. They're all tall.
They're all very tall, yeah. I've never met any of them, though.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I met one of them one time. But he's an interesting guy. He's a good guy. He's from Massachusetts.
Yep, yep. Quincy.
But is he that far out? No.
I think so.
Is he?
Yeah.
That's a bit of a ride.
Yeah, I know. I wouldn't want to do that. Coming to East Providence from Warwick was long enough for me. No, I'm just kidding. I'm the classic Rhode Islander, though, with that. It's too far.
Now, you said you like Mexican food. Do you like Mexico?
I've never been to Mexico,
Cut it
but I'm
out.
not a traveler.
See, I love Mexico.
I like being close to my family and my friends and
Right.
being home.
Yeah.
You know, the last time I really went away was when I got promoted from web editor to digital field reporter, and that's when I went to Washington, D.C. for some training. That was like, you know, a mini vacation. Not really a vacation, but because I was working and learning
And is that
new
the furthest
things.
you've ever been away from home?
I think Jamaica's the furthest I've been.
other than Jamaica.
Yeah, yeah.
Jamaica's
And I've been to Florida, but
Yep. I just drove back from Florida last week.
yeah, you said that, didn't you? Yeah.
But you want to see beautiful sunsets, it's on Mazatlan, Mexico. It's about 7 miles south of Los Angeles. It's on the west coast.
You like your sunsets?
Oh, sunset, yeah, like shooting pictures,
Have you seen the sunrise?
of course. I see both of them. No, I like both sunsets and sunrises, but sunsets seem a little bit different than sunrises.
Yeah.
You know, because in the morning you get mist sometimes. It's a different look.
And there's a different kind of feel too. At the end of the day, like the work is behind you, and now it's time to relax. You know, the sun is literally setting on all of that.
I used to go down to Mazatlan every Thanksgiving with my cousin. He flew out of Oakland or San Francisco. He lived in Antioch, California, which was between Oakland and the capital. And he would fly, he'd take off wherever he could get the flight out of, either Oakland or San Francisco. And he'd fly down to LA, and I'd meet him at LAX. I'd fly from here to LAX, and we'd jump on a plane together and fly down to Mazatlan, which is about 700 miles, like I said, south of Los Angeles. And we'd spend the 2 weeks there. It's like Mexico, like you wouldn't see it anywhere else. It's like old-time Mexico. It's not all touristy.
But you don't like tacos and burritos. So what do you eat when you're there?
I like anything that doesn't have the beans in it. I tell them I don't want the beans. You can keep the beans. That reminds me of a little baby with the diaper.
Oh, God.
The beans, you know,
Okay.
the mushed out beans, you know.
Okay.
That's what I think of when I look at the beans. No, I don't like beans. Never did.
Well, I don't
mean,
know if
eat
I
the
like
meat.
them anymore either now.
Oh, I told somebody the other day about swordfish. They love swordfish until I told them about swordfish.
Well, don't tell me what you're going to say, because
Oh, you
I don't
like
want
swordfish?
to hear it.
Do you like swordfish?
I do. I love it.
You love it, huh?
Yep. Don't ruin it for me.
Look it up. Look up swordfish.
Okay.
Look up something about, and let me know what you find about swordfish.
Okay. I like salmon.
I don't like
shrimp.
salmon. I like whitefish.
I'm going to make you salmon tacos.
Really?
Yep. With beans.
Now, see, you ruined it.
Big side of
you
beans.
ruined it. Now, salmon tacos, I would try it just because you made it, but I would not with the beans. Maybe a little bit of beans. You know, just a little tiny bit of beans. But the tacos all have beans in them?
No.
No, they don't, right? It's the other thing that has the beans.
Burritos.
Burritos have the beans in them. So I don't
That's
even know
why I
what
said
they are
salad.
because I don't ever buy it. It's the same thing with Chinese food. I mean, I knew a little bit about it, and I've been to China, and I've been to Thailand, and I've been all over Southeast Asia. And I like their food, but I don't know what the hell it is. As long as it doesn't have any curry in it, I can't stand that
yeah.
stuff. Oh my God, I can't stand that stuff. You don't like curry either, I can tell.
I
No,
actually
you
do
don't
like
like
it.
Huh?
I do.
You do like curry?
Yeah. It's tasty.
Yeah, I don't like the smell of it.
Yeah. I mean, I get that.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What does
Certain
it smell like?
deliciousness.
You get that I don't like it because of the smell, but now you're saying it's deliciousness.
Well, I mean, I get why a smell would turn you off.
Yeah. Well, that smell in particular, I just don't like. That's why I would never go to India.
Okay.
It doesn't interest me at all. India does not. India and Pakistan don't interest me at all. Sorry.
You gotta keep going to Mexico, but not getting any tacos.
Yeah. Or Cancun. Cancun's a great place for you to go as a single girl.
Yeah?
Oh, Cancun's one of my favorite places in Mexico. That's really cool.
Very cool.
Oh, yeah. And there's all kinds of the hotels. You got so many of them that you can stay in a real nice hotel for cheap money. They have charters out of Boston that go direct. Just get on the plane and get off the plane in Cancun. Cancun's an island, or actually it's a bunch of islands. It's shaped like a 7. Mm-hmm. You come from the airport, you go like that, and at the end of that, at that point is a mall, and then you go down this way. It's shaped like a 7. If you continue on the 7, you go into the old town, and they keep the residents from coming on the 7. So you don't get all those people harassing you and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. The beaches are gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous down there.
Yeah, like I said, you can't go wrong with the beach. It's my favorite place to be in the summertime.
I'm not a beach person.
No?
No. I'll go on the beach, but I can't.
I do. I like sitting on the beach and reading and going boogie boarding and meeting people.
Yeah, but you probably don't burn. You tan, right?
Right.
See, I burn. Mm-hmm. I burn. I couldn't have that.
Sunblock. And get an umbrella.
Yeah.
Go after 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and then
that's okay.
Then watch the sunset.
Yeah.
And then there's so many nice restaurants around that you can just walk to, park along the seawall, and then you can get food at the pavilion. Or that there's the Coast Guard house. There used to be remember Turtle Soup? There's something new there. I forget the name of it, but I haven't been to it yet. That's going to be one of my go-tos this summer. That's like on my bucket list for the summer. I want to try that place. I can't remember what it's called though.
We got a couple good restaurants right there at I'm forgetting the place now.
Patuxent Village is what you were thinking of?
Yeah, I'm trying to think of the place though, the restaurant.
O'Rourke's is one of the biggest ones.
Yes.
Yeah. And then there's a Fellini's over there too.
Oh, really?
Go over there and get a couple of slices of pizza.
Oh, yeah. And then there's the...
There's a place called Crepe Corner that's somewhat new that they do like savory and sweet, savory and sweet again, but they do crepes.
Right.
And they have, I think I'm saying it wrong, macaroons, or not there's the cookie, the coconut cookie,
right, yeah,
but then like the little mini French sandwichy kind of things. Oh. I've had a lot of them in my life, and the Crepe Corner is the absolute best. And the owner, the other day I was chatting with her, she got hit by a car.
Aye.
This was the night before she was supposed to open, and she survived. And I said something to her. I'm like, it's so nice to see you thriving and doing well after all of that, because we reported on it at Channel 10 that it was a crash and all that. I mean, imagine the day before you're opening a business, and you get hit. But she's doing really, really well.
Yeah. You know what I'm going to make? We're just about out of time, right? We're just about out of time. You spent 45 minutes with Bob, 50 minutes with Bob. How do you like that? It's been 10 years at least.
It went by so fast.
You know what I'm going to make when I leave here now?
What?
You like clam cakes?
I love clam cakes. You can make clam cakes?
Oh, I make great clam cakes.
They're not my favorite. I wish they had more clams in them.
Oh, no, I make them with a lot of clams.
All right.
Because I'm making them. I make them with a ton of clams. I really do, a ton of clams.
I can't have the clam cake without the chowder. You got to dunk.
Yeah,
well,
I buy the chowder at Cello's and I make my clam cakes. Too much work for a clam to make the chowder. All right, we're out of here. Is that what you're trying to tell me, Joe? We got Joe Mahan back from Las Vegas, Nevada, back in town. Joe Mahan's back in town on An Hour with Bob. And folks, thank you for spending an hour with Bob.